Hi, my name is Crystal Haynes, and I wanted to address the subject of adoption. Through various questions that I found would be important for generic information on this subject, I wanted to address those questions. One of the first questions I thought would be helpful is, what is adoption? Adoption is a process in which a child has permanent shift from one family to another. This is a process that one does not take lightly because of the extremely extensive procedures that follow the desire of adoption. The parental rights are legally transferred to the new adoptive family. The new family now has legal custody over the kid. So the next question would be, what are the diverse forms of adoption? I found this really surprising because there is a lot that I did not anticipate. So one of these options is kinship adoption. So kinship adoption is usually when a parent is deceased or is incapacitated and cannot provide for their children's needs. Therefore, a relative steps in, such as a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle, and adopts the child as their own. The next would be infant adoption. This is the most demanded form of adoption within the United States. But yet there is more of a demand than there actually is infants to be adopted. International adoption is the most complex and expensive form of adoption, and some countries have limited the amount of children for adoption within their country, and other countries have completely eliminated it. Closed and open adoption. Closed adoption is where all of the files and previous information from the prior family is completely sealed and it is not to be disclosed to the new adopted family or the child. An open adoption is where the new found legal guardians or parents of the child allow some form of communication or knowledge of the prior family. This can consist of photos, maybe letters between the previous family to the child, or visits that are facilitated by the new parents. Embryo adoption is another form. Through the evolution of in vitro technology, eggs are allowed to be donated and placed within the desired mother, and she is allowed to experience pregnancy with her child, which she might not have been able to do prior. This gives a better connection between the child and the mother, and she's being able to experience pregnancy on her own. Adopting an adult is one that I had never heard of before, and this is usually for odd reasons such as inheritance, so the adopted child can inherit the money of the parents, or for permanent caregiving from the adopted adult to the parents. Why do people adopt? Many people adopt because just the desire to give a child a family. Others desire to give children a better life that may not have that prior to adoption. Other people know a child that is in need and desire to accept that child into their own family. Others have no reason at all and just desire to adopt in general. Lastly, devastating news that you cannot biologically have a child pushes people towards the idea of adoption as well. Issues. What are issues surrounding adoption? The largest issue surrounding adoption would be the state laws governed in order to legally adopt. Some of these regulations would be who may adopt, who may be adopted, the person who must consent to the adoption, the form of adoption petition must take place, the notice of investigation and formal hearing of adoption petition, the effect of an adoption decree, the procedure for appeal, the confidential nature of hearing and records in adoption proceedings, the issuing of new birth certificates, and adoption subsidy payments. Again, this is an extremely lengthy procedure in which people usually have a lot of passion behind their desire to adopt. People don't just do it to do it. Yet at the same time, going through this procedure allows people to become really discouraged because it can become lengthy. Looking into the time length of how long it takes a person to adopt, I found was very interesting. Through one of my sources, I found this quote. The time frame, like the cost, varies with the type of child being adopted. With complete home study in hand, the process to adopt a child with special needs can often proceed quickly and be completed within a few months. The wait is typically between 2 and 7 years for a healthy child. So the contrast between a healthy child and someone maybe with a disorder, the length is shorter for a disorder, the length is longer for a healthy one. So I thought that was really interesting. So the other part would be, what are the benefits of adoption? A lot of the benefits are because of the emotional reward that you get from having a child, whether it be a child continuing your family and being added to your family, or a new child that you've never been able to have before because of biological reasons. It's so encouraging and so gratifying to have a child in which you wouldn't be able to have before. Also providing a home for a child in which they may not been able to have a healthy one prior to that. This means that you give them the opportunity for education and allowing their needs to be fulfilled, whether it's basic needs or loving needs and caring for them. So that is the basic information that I found regarding adoption, and I hope you learned something new as I did. Thank you.